Well, hello everybody. I hope you enjoyed the home movies that you just looked at. Of course, the film that just finished was the Continental movie, filmed on June 28, 1973. And I should explain, here I am in 1990, 17 years later, and I'm standing by the railroad tracks on Brighton Avenue, West End, Long Branch, and I'll move out of the way here so you can look over my shoulder. Over my shoulder there and behind me, if you can see it, is the Continental restaurant today. Uh, it's really a shame what has happened to it. Of course, last year at the end of the 1989 season, there was a suspicious fire, and the Continental, while it didn't burn down to the ground, the damage was so extensive. I don't think they're ever going to open again. So I'm standing in front of the Continental right now, and we're going to show you, or rather give you a little tour of the Continental in a little while, or what's left of it. And as I've mentioned to people before, uh, it's really hard to believe that what once used to be a five-star restaurant serving world-class French and Italian cuisine, and it was good, has now become the eyesore of West End. And all the windows are, well, with the exception of maybe one or two, they don't have any glass in them. Just, really like the buildings in the South Bronx, really. There's a large gaping hole in the roof, which we're going to show you later. And the grass is 10 feet tall. Looks like it hasn't been cut in a year since the fire. Uh, I never really did find out what happened as far as the investigation of the fire. I know at the time there was an article in the Atlanticville, which is our local paper here in Long Branch, and the firemen said that it was a suspicious fire, and they were investigating it, along with the insurance company, I would imagine. But I never found out really what happened, so I guess we'll never know. The only thing that is for certain is no one is eating and having dinner anymore at the Continental. But it is 75, very low humidity. Tomorrow will be the 4th of July, and I'm out here interviewing myself with my LA Dodger cap on. Here's a good close-up look at it. Brand new LA Dodger cap. By the way, Fernando Valenzuela, my favorite player on the Dodgers, pitched a no-hitter only a few nights ago. He's terrific. Well, all right, enough narration now. We're going to have a look at the Continental. So what you've just watched has been Gregory, and you just saw the Continental movie from back in '73. And now let's have a look at the Continental, how it looks today in 1990. Stay with me. Here's a good view of the Continental from across the street. There you can see one of the windows. We're going to zoom in on it for you right now. No glass at all on the windows. I guess the firemen had to break through the glass there when they fought the fire. And the frame is broken. And here's a panoramic shot of the fire damage. Looking along the roof. Shingles off. There's that window again. That used to be a bedroom, right there. As you can probably tell, that was a motorcycle that just went by. There's a good shot of the roof. Look at that. Can you imagine when it rains, all the rainwater that comes in there? It must have been quite a fire. I didn't see it, but I could smell it. Look at that roof. You're now looking at the area of the Continental where the doorman used to take the cars, where the cars used to pull up and the owners would get out, all Lincoln Continentals, Mercedes, and Caddies. And right there he would be standing. Bob, that was his name, all boarded up now. The cars would pull right up there where you're looking. But those days are over. Everything is all boarded up now. Here's a good close-up look now at the grass growing wild along the sidewalk. You can hardly see the sidewalk. Right along the Continental. Hasn't been cut in a year. There's Brighton Avenue. The owner of the Continental was a man named Frank Graziano, and here is a look at Frank's old car. I think it's a Chrysler, I'm not sure. It's got to be from the late 50s or early 60s, but that car has been parked there just for years and years and years. And now the Continental is closed, but that old car is still there. Look at the weeds growing by the tires. Look at that. I wonder what they're going to do with this sign. I'd like to have it, but it's pretty big. There's a view of the garage at the Continental, all boarded up like everything else. Now we're going to give you a little panoramic look around. A little more of the garage. There's Frank's old car again. A train is going to be going by in a little while. I happened to pick it up while I was videotaping. You're going to hear the railroad gate clanging, then you're going to see the train go by. And here's a final closing shot of the Continental restaurant. Rest in peace.